Good morning, friends. This is your old girl, Melanie Rose, here to share your daily aspects. Today is Sunday, October 24, 2021. The moon is in Gemini today, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury, who is all over us today. This is a time to talk, write, sing, collaborate, and create, specifically in the home and from the heart. And the waning gibbous energy of this moon advises us to look back on the intentions we set at the new moon and how they came into fruition at the full moon, and see what we could do better. So revise our plans so that we can go forward. The sun is in Scorpio today. At this time of year, the days continue to grow shorter, the nights longer. We have presumably taken advantage of the warmth and sunshine to put in our work and play. Now, as the days grow colder, we see that we have to find some comfort indoors and rely on what we have in reserve. This is the time of autumn when we prepare for long, cold nights while we wait and see what the winter will bring. Scorpio looks ahead and assesses the potential dangers and pitfalls, but does not respond with fear. Be prepared. Wait and see. These are two signature Scorpio attitudes we would all do well to adopt. Okay, let's take a look at these planets and aspects before we get into the interpretations. We have the sun, and the sun is representative of our outer lives. So, who you are on the outside, who you are when you're out in public, in the social sphere or domestic sphere, who is the person that people meet when they meet you. The moon is representative of our inner life. What are you thinking? How are you feeling? What are you like on the inside? And also your domestic sphere, who you are in your domestic sphere and who you're at home with there. We have Mars with us. Mars represents our personal sense of initiative, our ambition, our drives. Pluto, death and rebirth, which are the extreme ends of our lives. Mercury, the intellect, and how we communicate, especially on a day-to-day basis. Uranus does things differently, and so is an indicator for change, and really like quick changes, adjustments that we make on the day-to-day basis. Venus, love and money, or how do you relate to those things and people that you value the most. Neptune, spiritual awareness or connection. Jupiter, growth and opportunity. Those are the planets. Let's take a look at the aspects before we discuss the interpretations. We have a couple of squares here today. What a bunch of squares. Squares are indicators of challenges that might come up between these two energies during our day. Trine is a very positive, even harmonious aspect. Pretty much anything that happens here will be sort of blessed with a good outcome. Apogee we will talk about. Quincunx is variable outcomes. That's quincunx. This is opposition. And this also represents the potential for challenges, specifically conflict And if you just look at the little image, it's like things become polarized, and then we're just directly in conflict with something. But it's also an opportunity to find the balance in a situation. All right, those are the players, those are the plays. Let's get into some interpretations. In the ongoing column today, we have Mars square Pluto. This is day 4 of 4 for this challenging aspect. Mars makes us rowdy, and especially in challenging situations, we're likely to behave in immature and even petty ways under Mars's influences. I hope we've found a path to more intentional action during this aspect, so that we aren't dealing with negative outcomes after today. Intentional actions. Intentional actions. That's what I said. Okay, and here are today's aspects. I give these in Central Standard Time, as I am in Arkansas. At 5:17 a.m. today, the moon went trine with Mercury. This is almost as if we're starting this Gemini moon today with a little double dose of the same energy. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and when the heart and home enter this harmonious aspect with the intellect, we feel very positive about our collaborations and creative endeavors, especially in the home space. This 2-hour aspect comes in fairly early and seems like a happy way to start the day. Talk, create, collaborate. Heart and home. Then at 10:29 a.m., the moon reaches its point of apogee. Once a month, the moon reaches its furthest point in its orbit around the Earth from the Earth. At this time, the moon or our emotional and domestic life is believed to have less of an impact on our days and nights. In approximately 2 weeks, it will reach its perigee or closest point, and so the effect it has on us waxes and wanes in this way, as well as through the moon's apparent phases. Less emotional and domestic impact at this time. At 12:45 p.m., right around lunchtime, Mercury runs quincunx with Uranus. Wow, Mercury is having a bit of a field day with our imaginations today. Uranus does things differently and often brings about quick changes. So our intellect may be stimulated by new ideas or perspectives, giving us sort of an astrological case of attention deficit syndrome. It is one thing to entertain a broad scope of actions and options. It is quite another to impulsively adopt whole new plans or perspectives. Good outcomes are not promised at this time, and in fact, we're likely to skip over some details that may trip us up later. So it's best not to make any long-term contracts during this 2-day aspect. I'm going to say fools rush in. Don't be a fool. Or do. And you pays your money, you takes your choice. All right. At 4:24 p.m., the moon goes in opposition to Venus. We've seen this one a few times since we started with the daily aspects. When the heart and home come into a potentially conflicted vibe with Venus, it is likely that we feel desiring of love and affection. However, the person or people we rely on for that kind of support may not be available to share at this time, for one reason or another. This is where self-care is indicated. Rather than becoming sad or upset that the nurturing we seek isn't on offer, we can find a balance to the situation by offering ourselves the love and support we might normally seek from others. This is a 2-hour aspect. Take loving care of yourself. And then at 9:14 p.m., the moon will go square with Neptune. Things can seem very unclear or confusing to us at this time, especially in our hearts and homes. It may be tempting even to dip into the intuitive space to try to make sense of what's going on, but we're specifically not protected by our planet for spiritual awareness at this time. Alternately, we may be feeling a deep sense of empathy for those around us, or like the moon opposition Venus aspect up here, we may be suffering some emotional disconnection and seeking that empathy. We rise to the challenge when someone is in need. This is called using our powers for good. This aspect takes 2 hours. Use your powers for good. And then after midnight at 12:33 in the morning on Monday, the moon goes trine with Jupiter. Good times in the middle of the night. Moon trine Jupiter makes us very happy, feeling social, and then adds a positive vibration. This 2-hour aspect basically says that opening up, being honest and generous with ourselves and our loved ones will bring blessings and positive outcomes. So share the good feelings in your heart and home. Coming up next week, we will see a waning half moon in Leo, but most of the preparations we make will be for the end of the week, which culminates in the holiday Samhain, the calendar middle point between autumn's equinox and winter's solstice, when the veil between our world and the underworld is thin, giving us greater access to the spirit world. Samhain itself is a Celtic tradition, but many cultures around the world celebrate this midpoint date in similar ways by honoring our ancestors and in general acknowledgement and celebration of the facts of death and decay, which are integral parts of a life worth living. Just you wait and see, says Scorpio. Everything passes. There is nothing to fear. And that's it for today, friends. This has been your Daily Aspects, an astrological weather forecast for Saturday, October 23, 2021. If you have any questions or if you feel inspired to share an experience or an observation, please feel free to leave it in the comments section below. Also, please like my video and subscribe to the Old Girl channel. I will leave this up for about 30 seconds so that you may look it over, and I'll see you all tomorrow for more Daily Aspects.